Hi, this is Christian, and welcome to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. Coming your way, Divisional Round predictions. The first matchup in Divisional Round weekend is when the Kansas City Chiefs travel to Gillette Stadium to take on the New England Patriots. Now, the Patriots have been on a bye, and they've been preparing for their opponent, which we now know is the Chiefs, and the Chiefs look very good in their playoff debut this year, crushing the Houston Texans 30-0. The Chiefs look like one of those teams that could catch fire in the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl, but they'll have a tough task against four-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady and company. And with Rob Gronkowski questionable, the Chiefs may get a break there, but I think the Patriots otherwise will be in good shape. The Chiefs, well, I don't know if they'll have Jeremy Maclin playing with his high ankle sprain, and that will be big for them because they won't have any real big weapons outside of their star tight end Travis Kelce. It should be a pretty entertaining game, and I think it'll be a close one and come down to the wire, but ultimately, I see Tom Brady and the New England Patriots traveling to the AFC Championship game. The second matchup of the divisional round is when the Green Bay Packers travel to Glendale, Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Now, the Packers, fresh off of a wild card weekend win against the Redskins, will look to keep the momentum going against an Arizona Cardinals team that is rested and hungry for a challenge. Carson Palmer, one of the MVP candidates this season, is going to play in another playoff game after he couldn't play last year against Carolina when the Cardinals went one and done. And now the Cardinals look to be a much better team against the Packers team that has really struggled all season and just kind of got their confidence back last week. The Cardinals have a lot of great receivers with Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd, and John Brown leading the way. And also on the running game, they have a dynamic rookie running back in David Johnson that can make you pay and find the holes for big touchdowns. Overall in this game, I think the Packers could make it close because they do have their Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback, but ultimately the Cardinals are the better team, and I think they'll win the game. On Sunday, we kick off when the Seattle Seahawks travel to Bank of America Stadium to take on the Panthers. Now, after Blair Walsh missed a field goal for Minnesota last week, Seattle was able to squeak through and head to Charlotte to play this divisional round game. The Panthers are resting up after their bye, and they'll be at full strength with Jonathan Stewart coming back after his 3-game absence, and the Panthers should be ready to go. The Seahawks, for them to win, they need Russell Wilson to make plays through the air because it will be tough to get a lot of ground game from Marshawn Lynch, who will most likely be rusty, and against this Panthers defense that has really shut down the run all season long. For the Panthers, well, again, Ted Ginn is also coming back from an injury, and he'll need to make some plays, even though I think some other receivers for the Panthers will need to step up because he'll be locked on Richard Sherman, and I don't think Ginn can beat Sherman. I think it will be a Greg Olsen type of day, and I think that he will have a big day, and the Panthers are able to squeak out the win in Charlotte. The last game of the weekend is when the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. Now, the Steelers, well, they've just been unlucky with their injuries lately. D'Angelo Williams will probably not suit up, and neither will Antonio Brown. And it's up in the air if Ben Roethlisberger will be able to tough it out and play in this game. If the Steelers have none of those three players, then I don't see any way they can win this game. But if Roethlisberger does come back, then I could conceivably see the Steelers winning this. Especially with Peyton Manning, and we don't really know what to expect as he cleaned up in relief duty the last week of the season for Brock Osweiler, playing pretty solid, only completing a couple of passes though, as the run game was mostly the factor in the comeback win versus San Diego in Week 17. But it seems like the Denver Broncos, with their dynamic defense and able to create havoc to opposing quarterbacks, I think the Denver Broncos have this one in the bag. I'm sure you've seen all the games already, but let's check out the Wild Card Weekend recap. It was the Chiefs over the Texans, 30-0. The Steelers over the Bengals, 18-16. The Seahawks over the Vikings, 10-9. And the Packers over the Redskins, 35-18. My prediction record for the wild card weekend was 3-1, and Dylan's was 2-2.